Berserk is a story that means a whole lot to me, but mostly it's from the character of Guts. I've never up until reading Berserk felt like a fictional character could feel so real, like just another human being whose story I'm just kind of reading about somehow. This character means so much to me and he's taught me so many lessons, and I've tried to constantly figure out how I can break him down. But every time I broke down one wall, there would just be another wall, and another wall. The fourth wall. You get the point. Guts has many layers, but I soon realized that all these lessons that I learned can be traced back to one theme. It's more than just the giant-ass sword that doesn't sound like a sword. It's more than just that badass Mountain Dew Code Red rage side of him. It's more than just that goddamn jawline. Holy shit! Struggle. Guts literally is the struggler, which is the coolest title ever, but it's also why he's such a real, human, and relatable character. Life is interesting, to say the fucking least. One moment you're at an all-time high, you have this glowing aura of confidence, you feel like you're the coolest person ever, and yes, you can surpass God, but then you get a single bad feeling, or a single bad thing happens, and suddenly you fall off that mountain that is your ego, and now you're in the shit. Your life is terrible, you hate yourself, you played Naruto Opening 2 around the hose, and now your sex appeal is non-existent. You're gonna have to constantly struggle, and at times it'll feel like all your problems are just ganging up and beating your shit in. Growing up, relationships, managing your time, finding yourself, making sure you don't play Naruto Opening 2 around the hose, and then suddenly you're feeling that existential dread. And then you're like, damn, life is a constant struggle that only leads to death. So how can there be meaning in life if the outcome is always death? What's the point of struggling? And that is where Guts comes in. He's constantly struggling and having to deal and learn and reflect from his life. And if one thing is clear, it's that Guts' life sucks. Let's do a little retrospective on the life that is Guts. Starting off real strong, he's born from a hunged woman's corpse, and after being taken in, his only possible mother figure dies, and then the pseudo-dad blames him for that. And let us not forget that his pseudo-dad sells him off to a very wholesome gentleman by the name of Donovan, and fuck. All of this gave him trust issues, so he becomes a lone mercenary who only cares for himself, and because of that trauma, anytime someone would even touch him, he would freak out. The shitstorm seemingly goes on forever. Even when things begin to lighten up and he finds friends he can trust, the eclipse happens, and he's constantly haunted by demons who don't let him sleep at night, and he's living in this world with those horses. I don't think I have to say too much about those horses. He is a therapist's wet dream. The fact that his title is The Struggler is only helped by the fact that he has the worst life in fictional history. There is no comparison. Like, Batman? Like, yeah, sure, your parents died. So does every other anime character. Join the club. And like, what did your parents expect? Walking down a street called Crime Fucking Alley? We see all of Guts' struggles, but despite this terrible life, again, horsecock, he never fully gives up or gives in to his demons. Though he may struggle, those struggles lead him to the possibilities of hope. Though his dad gave him trust issues and put him down a negative path, he eventually finds the Band of the Hawk, who show him companionship and friendship and allow him to trust people again. And though he was given horrific trauma from Donovan, it's through opening up to Casca about it that he can move forward from it and not be haunted by it anymore. And that's what allows him to find love with Casca. And don't get me wrong, not all of Guts' struggles are just bad things happening to him and he just is this perfect, righteous, heroic, godly, jaw-lined being. No, he's flawed, just like us. Part of his struggles are also his mistakes. He leaves the only people he had left to pursue revenge. He almost does the same thing he hated Griffith so much for. But in both these cases, he eventually makes the the right choice. After some time in the Black Swordsman persona, he chooses Casca over revenge. He decides to trust people again so that he can protect Casca from himself. It's not your mistakes that define you, it's your choices that do. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Sorry, that was bad. Everybody makes mistakes, but not everybody makes a change. That felt pretty cool to say. I feel like a little poet. Can I get some snaps? Get some snaps in the chat, please? Thank you. My point is, though Guts may struggle with lots of things, his upbringing, his mistakes, and the things out of his control, it was his tenacity to keep going and his strive to improve himself as a person that really inspired me and showed me why struggle is so important. Though life is always going to have its bad moments and struggle, that it's kinda non-negotiable, if you give in, you'll never get to experience the possibility of the incredible parts. So you have to keep struggling, you have to keep moving, and you have to keep living.
I'm sure you'll overcome this. You'll walk again. Soon.
It's because Guts continued to struggle and live that allowed him to find the thing that inspired me to even start this channel and make this video. That first half of that video you just saw was made quite a bit ago, and this video was supposed to come out a couple months, maybe a month from now, but recently the author of Berserk, Kentaro Miura, passed away, and I've been trying to work on the videos I'm supposed to be making right now, but every time I just start thinking about Berserk and Guts and Miura, and I can't do anything. So I thought, why not just upload this video now instead of usual where my videos are pretty scripted. Just kind of, just give it to you straight from the heart. Now we're all cozy. Where we left off, I was talking about purpose. In Berserk, there's this scene that basically changed my life. Surprise, surprise, anime means a lot to my pasty ass. It's the beautiful bonfire of dreams scene, where Guts is just explaining to Casca all these existential thoughts about how he doesn't have any purpose in life. And I mean, how could he? Like he said, all he was ever taught was to swing a sword. He had no meaning or ambition. He was just surviving to wake up the next day, just existing for the sake of it. He talks about how all the other members of the Band of the Hawk have a reason to live, how they have some purpose or goal that they're striving for. But Guts doesn't have that. But when I saw this, I was 16 and didn't understand why that mattered so much. But then I became a 20-something. And when you become a 20-something, it's like this weird part of your brain unlocks a new hidden character. And all these new knowledge comes to your head, and it's fucking scary. Like leave. I don't like you. And now suddenly you're like, life, it has no meaning. What's my purpose? What's my point of living? What am I living for? What? Now I not only understood the sadness of it, but also related to it. After I finished high school, I had no goal anymore. I realized I didn't have a purpose. I didn't know what I was living for. What was I trying to do with my life besides just aimlessly continue to do a job I don't like forever? Everything felt the same. Every day felt gray and muted and pointless. I felt like I was wandering through life and only living because I don't fucking know, I don't want to die. Because I saw Guts not only struggling with not having a purpose, but also deciding he's gonna go on his own path to find it, it inspired me to find my purpose, which is, like I said, making dog shit videos on the internet. I wouldn't be doing YouTube without Berserk. It gave me inner peace because I had a direction and goal to strive for. I knew why I was living, to get my dumbass ideas out. It also shows me now when I'm kind of struggling with all these new struggles of, will I even get an audience? Will I gain any subscribers? Do people even want to watch this? People even care about this shit? Are my videos good or bad or whatever? I can think back about the other lesson of Berserk, that you have to keep moving forward. You have to keep dealing with your struggles. And none of this would have happened if Guts didn't struggle. What if he just gave up against those wolves? He had no reason to live, so what if he just gave up? He never would have found the friends who eventually led him to not only love and friendship, but also to finding his own purpose. Guts, even when he had no purpose or meaning, kept struggling. He kept swinging that sword just to survive. That's it. But it's because of that struggle and because of that sword that would lead him to finding his friends, his love, and his purpose. And I think that shows us that all our meaningless sword swings or the struggles of our lives have to be endured to find our way to move forward, to find our light in the despair, to find our own purpose. Berserk helped me escape the existential crisis of the typical 20-year-old and find my purpose. If it wasn't for Berserk, I would have never learned how to move forward. And I think that's why a death of someone I don't really know can impact me so much, because his work spoke to me. Thank you, Miura. And even right now, as I'm struggling with the loss of Miura, as I'm sure a lot of you are, or maybe you're struggling with the mistake you made or trying to find who you are, just remember, you're not alone. We're all strugglers. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go back to listening to the 10-hour version of the Guts theme. Please stay safe, my friend, and don't you dare go hollow. But, most importantly, keep moving forward. Thank you so much for coming to this little pit stop on the corner of the internet. Peace.
Ain't no stress on me, Lord. I'm